Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
PRCBD Championship Night number 1 is on the air here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Good evening. Happy Sunday to you guys. I'm Caleb Hart. He is the punctual Ben Iman, and we are off and running with our first of 2 championship nights here on back-to-back weeks on Home Track Heroes, all brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Ben, points battles all over the place. Some divisions a little more sewn up than others, but we do have some nail-biters coming into this final night.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of these are going to really come down to how these main events play out, including our first event here tonight, which is our Hornet battle. We're watching 2 cars in this one, Caleb. Zach Bristol in the 1JR, Damon Claiborne in the 43. Claiborne trails Bristol by 15 points coming into the championship, which means if Zach Bristol can finish 8th or better, he will walk home with a 3rd straight Hornet championship. Damon just needs to be 8 places in front of Zach tonight.
All right, and they are both starting side by side deep in this field tonight. So let's give you the lineup. It is nearly a full A main event for these drivers. 22 cars going 30 laps to finish this off. Your pole sitter is Bryson Wingfield. He's out of Monroe. Papa Tony Hill sponsors the 65. To his outside, David Dixon out of Stanwood, sponsored by the Three Brothers Garage. Road number 2 is Brian McNamara out of Snohomish. Trueline Wheel and Frame of Seattle sponsors him. And to his outside, it's the 05 from Sammamish. It's Jacob Szymanski.
One half of the most dangerous names in racing, Caleb, pilots the 03. It's Ryan Housen-Fluck in the Cornerstone Homes machine. He'll start next to the 33X of Jeremy Matthews out of Monroe. Pacific Metallurgical Incorporated aboard that car. The 01 machine is Tanner Bjornson out of Arlington. All Ply Roofing sponsors him. He'll start next to the 30 machine of Pat Folger coming off a podium.
Well done for Folger in the last run. Row number 5, it's Christian Miller, the 77 out of Everett, sponsored by Turbo Espresso. To his outside, the multiple-time feature winner, Brad Gruel in the Estes Heating and Cooling G2. 6th row, inside, Scarlett Fisher out of Marysville, sponsored by GN Northwest. And outside of her, out of Snohomish, the Cut Shop of Woodinville, number 16 of Peyton Hopp.
We'll then also move back to the 45 machine, Trinity Reppin out of Snohomish. Reppin welding and rail aboard her car. She'll start next to the 132 machine of the LAF Tech car. That's Dempsey Graham out of Duval. Dustin Lytle, your reigning Rookie of the Year, starts in the 21L out of Marysville, sponsored by Braven Metals. He'll start next to the Silver Bullet, Dan Miller in the 00. He's out of Everett, sponsored by Exterior Wall Systems.
Row number 9, that's your points battle row. Zach Bristol on the inside, the 2-time and defending Hornet Track champion, as well as the NASCAR champion for Hornet Racing. The 1 junior out of Snohomish, sponsored by Hibbs Automotive. His outside from Snohomish, the Key of Everett, number 43, Damon Claiborne, his pursuer, down by 15 points. Row behind them, Tony Blodgett's 44B out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Allied Motorsports, and the 15 of Matt Snyder out of Snohomish, sponsored by Handy in the Valley.
Trent Gillespie's in the 025 out of Granite Falls, sponsored by Full Throttle Graphics. Zach Dixon, the Color Specialist Premium Quality Car Paint Service in the 67 out of Marysville. The Speedway Chevrolet Pace cars to the infield. Wingfield and Dixon are rounding turn 4. And they're going to bring us to the green.
A championship at Evergreen Speedway. Write your name in history. Bristol has done it 2 times in a row the past couple of years in 2023 and 24. Can he three-peat? Or will Claiborne get him? And we've also got the big trophy and the main event win up for grabs. Full invert on this field. Fast guys at the back. Guys who didn't qualify nearly as well up at the front as we're up and running for the green.
Yeah, we know that Claiborne is going to want to get up on the gas and get moving early. And no one has really seemed to be faster in a Hornet car over the past 6-8 weeks than Damon Claiborne. Been racking up big-time wins and podium finishes and legitimately is only in this 15-point hole due to one bad night, essentially, Caleb. There's a big stack up there of cars into that hairpin weight transfer section. It was really one bad night that put him in this hole. And when you're racing for a championship, it can be one bad night as simple as that. That's how close these races can be.
And it also speaks to the consistency of Zach Bristol, because of all of the good nights that Claiborne has had, Bristol has not had the one bad night. That's what gives him the advantage going into this final night of racing here in the Hornets. Bryson Wingfield move up from our youth Hornet division, enjoying his first full year and looking awfully good out in the front of this one. He has got your early lead over David Dixon and Jacob Szymanski as we watch the uncursed Ryan Housen-Fluck in the 03 and Pat Folger in his new car, the 30, chasing him around as we got cars together.
Yeah, Scarlett Fisher around. Ooh, Dustin Lytle, the 21L, not able to avoid that one, makes more contact, but both drivers rolling, and Oh, we got the JD flag cam now. Caution flag will fly with that one. Let's take a look at it here. Was Lytle and Fischel there with some contact? Let's see how Fisher ended up around.
One of our in-car cameras from the Brandy Hood Promotions team, and Brandy and Saxon and Ashley, and I don't think the baby's equipping the GoPros yet, but get there.
You underestimate the power of Lars.
I underestimate the power of babies in general, not just Lars. Here's from the nose of Matt Snyder, or I guess kind of the windshield of Matt Snyder as he watched it all happen. And now, rear bumper cam on Fisher's car. And, oh boy, it got tight in there.
Yeah, it just got real tight. You can see a points contender, Damon Claiborne, Bristol. And that one, Snyder got tight. Oof. Yeah, that was a big hit from Dustin Lytle into that rear quarter panel. Just nowhere to go for Scarlett. Looks like she had her line, was trying to hold it here and rotate through the corner, and just a lot of contact behind her, and nowhere to go. And unfortunately, the car's going to end up the wrong place. And then Lytle, ooh.
Yeah, just when you thought you had it saved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Lytle saying, I didn't like that radiator hose anyway, as we'll watch him drive into the corner. Somebody buy that man some gloves and watch the impact coming up here in about a second.
Yeah, just kind of car appears, nowhere for him to go. Try to get up on the brakes, and tough break for Dustin Lytle and for Scar Fisher. One final look here from Damon Claiborne.
Dempsey Graham trying to fit a third car into a place where only two cars were fitting part of that. Well, we've got her all cleaned up. Let's re-rack it, restack it. And, early, Claiborne avoids accident. It's going to be big for him. Again, we're watching him in Bristol from the back of the field, duking it out for points. Up front, 3 laps into this, Bryson Wingfield, your leader, over David Dixon and Jacob Szymanski.
Yeah, Bryson Wingfield, steady improvement through the first full season in Hornets family. You said he's a youth Hornet graduate, has gone from running in these B mains to advancing out of B mains to qualifying for A mains. Good to see Bryson making that improvement and getting better and getting the car underneath him all across the year.
Next step will be to qualify a little bit better. That way you can start a little bit further back in the pack, rack up some more passing points coming through the field, and start achieving some better season championship scores, which is the long-term goal, right? Titles. Titles and trophies, baby.
That's what we race for, nothing else.
Glory is awesome.
Well, we're rolling out of 4, looking for glory. Any of these first 4, one driver hunting, that is the 03 driver of Ryan Hausenfluck, the man who I have eternally cursed, and but we're trying to lift it. I've tried my best, I do want to say. I don't continue to wish cursing upon Ryan Hausenfluck.
No, but at the same time, apparently you know people who can do cursing and uncursing, as Etsy Witch is definitely within your playbook.
It could be.
You've got people.
If we got there. I do know people, that is true. But for right now, we're going to let Ryan try to figure it out himself.
Elevate Media drone shot, as what a cool angle. We don't get to see on track into the intersection very much. That was well done, David Amber. As down the back straightaway, we've got a new race leader in the form of David Dixon.
Yeah, good move by Dixon there to get around Wingfield. And now there's Damon Claiborne in the 43, working on Brad Gruhl behind. This is Pat Folger and Christian Miller kind of boxed in. Now we're looking to see where's the 1 junior. And bad news for Damon Claiborne is he's right behind him a few car lengths back.
Now, are we on the substitute car for Zach tonight? Nope, he's got the regular car. I thought I saw the old school Halvalane looking backup car for him rolling in the field, but that's not Zach tonight.
No, that is just the 1 junior. He's run the other car in Stingers this year, so he's preserved this car for Hornet Racing. And Claiborne getting a little aggressive, making the pass, putting a few cars between him and Zach. The only problem is he's got to put about 5 more between him and Zach can move no farther forward for Claiborne to have a shot at the shot. I mean, Damon's doing everything he can do. He's running his race. He's picking up passes. He's moving quickly to the front. And you just have to maybe hope that you never hope. I mean, the two of them are teammates. We have to mention that, too.
Yeah, they both work out of the Hornets' nest.
You're not hoping anything bad happens to Zach, but if Zach gets tangled in some contact and is forced to go to the rear kind of thing, that's kind of what is probably going to be needed to be called out of Damon Claiborne's playbook.
It's one of those things. It's good racing advice. It's good life advice. Control what you can control. Claiborne can only control his own performance at this point in time, and he's doing everything he can. He's got a threat coming on the outside. Christian Miller and Brad Gruhl trying to follow him through and ruin the experience for Claiborne, who's got to look to the inside as he is peeking around Szymanski. Szymanski's been really good these last couple of times out for the Hornets, and now Claiborne's got to find his way by him.
Szymanski, a steady improvement across this season, and look at these cars around him. Christian Miller, Brad Gruhl, there's Zach Bristol. These are all, podium threat cars, and these are not easy cars to pass. We go on board with Matt Snyder, duking out with Ryan Hausenfluck, and see what Matt Snyder can do moving his way forward. Has been up on the podium a handful of times himself this year, and right now Damon Claiborne continuing to do his thing, but Zach Bristol, steady Eddie, picking up spots when he can, keeping this within range.
Of note, Bristol is 8th right now in the running order, so if it ends like this, Bristol is guaranteed the points championship no matter where Claiborne finishes. So things out of the hands of the 43 as long as the one junior keeps performing like he does. Claiborne is on the hunt for Bryson Wingfield here as we continue to go off the windshield of Matt Snyder, who has been running up front quite a bit, and that's Christian Miller sideways. Daddy Dan also sideways at the same time.
That looks like Szymanski involved with that one with Dan Miller, the silver bullet. Did well to get back on track as Damon Claiborne's going to make the pass on David Dixon. This is for the lead. Brent Flintstone pedaling himself towards the front, and Damon Claiborne, race leader with 20 to go. And Zach Bristol is running within that top 8 like you mentioned, but Damon Claiborne, an impressive statement to the end of the year, even if he's not going to come home champion as things stand.
Bristol currently 6th, and with a look at position number 5, Brad Krul had opened up the low side, just a hair coming off the corner. He'll streak away from him down the back straightaway. Krul has been super fast all year long. He'll get underneath Wingfield, and he's coming after Christian Miller, which should be a battle into its own.
Yeah, Brad Krul, Christian Miller. This will be a good one. These drivers are going to give each other a lot of hard racing here. David Dixon in front of them. And looks like, some contact between House and Snyder. House up the track as the 15 getting the muscle out, moving the 03 so he can make the pass, but a strong pass there. Snyder up a position.
We know Snyder is not afraid to use the front bumper cover or either of the doors when necessary to move up and through. Hornet Racing can get physical here at Evergreen Speedway. It's part of the spectacle that you see as Dixon cedes the spot both to Miller and to Gruel and Bristol through the corner. 3 contenders moving their way through.
Yeah, Zach Bristol able just to pick up these cars one by one and spot by spot and mitigating Damon Claiborne's performance so far. As now Snyder will be the next car up on David Dixon. Wingfield still hanging around there. And then, Dustin Lytle, good recovery drive, flirting outside the top 10 here after he had to go to the rear with some contact and involved in an incident earlier.
One of the things, and especially on Bristol's end, but you can see that Angel of the Wind scoreboard that sits in the middle of the back straightaway here with a top 5 running order. He'll be able to see that he's up in 5th right now, and I wonder if he'll start playing strategically towards the end of it, i.e., okay, I could make my way forward, but this is a championship winning position, and tries to kind of space himself out for the other cars that way. Something happens in front of him, he's got lots of time to react, and heck, if he's got some guys coming up behind him, he's got some space in between them.
That you're implying that Zach knew actually how many points he needed coming into the night.
I believe that Bristol's do math well. I've heard that.
I believe that Zach's team might have done that, but you're implying. I think Zach is one of those drivers who will tell me, and I do genuinely believe when he says, I'm not really paying attention to it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, right now he's working to the inside of Christian Miller and passing another car. Miller on the outside, Bristol to the inside. Looks like he has got the spot coming out of 2, even though the 77 trying to surge back on the outside down the back straightaway.
But we have to talk about, too, the absolute gap that as Damon Claiborne has opened up. This is a good battle here with Christian Miller, Zach Bristol. They're coming out of turn 4. They're running the line. Damon Claiborne is already up into the banking in turn 2 by the time they get there.
Wow, Claiborne's smooth, and I'm always watching hands while in the cockpit. He is, he's having to turn the car, he's having to steer, but it is one solid arc. He's not correcting a whole lot. And you can just see the speed. Like, he is carrying lots of speed through the corner without scrubbing it by getting the car sideways.
You can see shifting really well through that weight transfer section. Easy, smooth right there. Gets back up on, shifts up, and now is going to try to move around some lap traffic. Zach Dixon, Brian McNamara, next car's in his view.
Having to deal with slower traffic up in front of him. It's not lap traffic till he passes him, as he will work to the outside of McNamara and be in the outside in the weight transfer section. A little run left. Here's the correction to the right. And this part right here, he's been really good getting through the hairpin onto the back straightaway and keeping momentum at the same time. Claiborne checking out from this field.
And Damon Claiborne can leave today proud of his effort and say, I did everything I could. I opened up a multi-second gap. I'm leading this race comfortably as things stand. Obviously, 10 laps here, lots can change. as we finish. But Damon Claiborne has to be proud of his effort regardless of how this finishes.
It's a really impressive race he's putting together right now. This is the PRCBD Hornet A main event for the championship. Damon Claiborne wants it. He's going to need some help. He needs something to happen to Zach Bristol, and we will find out if it does. A commercial break coming up. We'll finish out the season for the PRCBD Hornets next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. 10 laps to go as we come back to action here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. My name's Caleb Hart. He is Ben Iman. Ben, now just 9 laps to go here in the championship chase for the Hornets. Not the last time we'll see the Hornets on the year, but the last time that they will race for points. There is our race leader, Damon Claiborne, who came in second in points. Unfortunately, the guy he is chasing is sitting in position number 3 right now.
Yeah, so it looks like as things stand, going to go the way of the reigning champ, Zach Bristol. As things stand, a three-peat in order in Hornet championships, and Damon Claiborne did everything right. And got to give a shout out as we go on board with Dustin Lytle in 21L. He's running down Christian Miller in the 77. Great recovery drive for the 21L. Involved in an incident earlier, all the way up to 5th, the reigning rookie of the year. Is quickly moving his way, trying to maybe hunt down a podium late in this race with only 8 to go.
That would be big for Lytle at this point in time. Obviously, not a whole lot of opportunities left on the year at Evergreen Speedway to pick up one of the trophies and talk to the crowd. You'd love a chance to do that. Right now on the outside looking in, but hey, to get to 3rd, you got to get to 4th first. So Lytle and Miller, the battle on your screen on the left-hand side in cockpit with Lytle right now running in 5th.
Yeah, trying to run down Christian Miller. Christian Miller right now, first car off the podium in 4th, and I think there's a bit of a gap between them and Bristol right now, but Lytle getting right to the back of the 77 in the weight transfer section. Looking wide, not there. Matt Snyder also sniffing his nose around. Would love to maybe pick up some spots, get back into that top 5 as we're clicking the laps to go. Jeremy Matthews steps out of the way of the faster cars coming underneath him, and Lytle will have to set up his move again.
Hugging the low side of the racetrack through the 3rd and 4th corner, Dustin Lytle looking at the bumper cover of Christian Miller. We thank PRCBD, our class sponsor here in the Hornets. Visit PRCBD in Arlington for all your CBD products. For people and pets, PRCBD has help for all types of aches and pains. Go to PRCBD.com and use the promo RACE.
Damon Claiborne putting his teammate Peyton Hopp a lap down, and I love the sponsor name just spray painted on the hood. Anything to get the backup car out and still rep your sponsor.
Okay, so that was the former Bristol backup car that I saw.
Yeah, that's Peyton Hopp 16 tonight.
Aha. Well, not quite usually the great pumpkin that he's used to is Tanner Bjornson's great pumpkin-looking General Lee machine. Oh, my goodness, he looked like Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Well, David Dixon getting his car off the tire. I think we've lost Pat Folger. That's a precarious place to have to try to re-enter the track.
Yeah, a little scary.
A lot of speed. Tony Blodgett in the 44B, going to go a lap down
careful.
to Claiborne.
Careful, Damon. That was, he got by him. There's just a little contact. It happens.
We go on board with Brad Gruhl out the rear. I love the beautiful rear shot here, as you can see Gruhl and the speed that these cars actually do carry through this section. I know sometimes watching on the wide shot, they don't necessarily look like they're going all that fast, but when you go on board, you can see how quickly they are turning around this oval.
You can gather a lot of speed, and especially since they're using all of the back straightaway of the 3/8 mile that we have here. That is a big old head of steam before. Right here, here's where you got to be in the brake, downshifting. It's the biggest speed scrub of the entire course. You'd never know it by watching Damon Claiborne, though, as he has run a fantastic main event here, and Claiborne has 2 more corners to take before the checkered flag.
Well, Damon Claiborne did everything he could tonight, Caleb. He brought a perfect race car, and he brings out and he claims the final Hornet point-paying win of the year. But it's the car coming home in 3rd, as we have one looping it across the finish. It would be the car coming home in 3rd, Zach Bristol, who will ultimately have enough to win a championship at the end of 2025. The three-peat is in order.
Yep, Claiborne wins the battle. Bristol wins the war this night here at Evergreen Speedway in the PRCBD Hornets. And really good time for them to celebrate. Again, we have more Hornet racing coming up this year, but this is the end of the points season for those two. Bristol, who I teased earlier in the year, he didn't take any of the NASCAR championship money and spend it on graphics. Well, he comes out in that really nice looking tribute car to Shane Biles, who ran around here for many, many years and has been influential to lots. And Zach now taking his cool down lap and getting some love from some of the guys that he works with, teams with, etc. And there's Damon abusing some tires in the middle of the infield.
Steering wheel out the window, a great burnout for Damon Claiborne. Oh, we got burnout on board. This I do love. Congrats to Damon Claiborne.
Very Kyle Larson-esque for Claiborne there on the burnout. And here comes Bristol as he is going to do the reverse victory lap with the wrong flag.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a flag. It's a Polish victory lap here for Zach Bristol. We know how much these championships mean for him and for the team back there and all of Hornets Nest Racing.
I'm just saying, he could have grabbed the checkered. So we will watch Zach. We'll see him come around with said flag. In and through. Congratulations to Zach Bristol into the middle, and last little gasser up for him. How cool.
Zach Bristol will bring it back to us.
All right, let's go talk to him. To the podium we go for the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
Brad, another podium to wrap up 2025 for you guys. A great season, a race win on opening night to a series of podiums. Just talk about how's the year gone for you, and what does another podium added mean for you?
You know, so new car this year. It's not as fast as the last one, but it's doing pretty good. So I'm able to keep up with the fast guys. It's under-motored, but I can do it with momentum. So.
Well, a good run, second place, got to feel pretty good. Who helped you get that car out here?
Estes Heating and Cooling, my girlfriend Amber, fans, love you guys for coming out. Frost Towing, Brandy Hood Promotions, she does all the media stuff. The whole team, everybody.
Well, gotta give a big shout out. Brad Gruhl, second place on championship night, and a great strong season from the G2 of our time. Well, Damon, you drove the wheels off the car. You had an over 7-second gap back to Brad Gruhl when you crossed the line. Ultimately, second place in the points championship, still in a good NASCAR Division 5 points, and another race win. Just how does this feel for the 43 team?
Oh, man, this is great. What a way to end the season. 2 straight wins is, can't argue with the results. Car's been really good. I forgot to thank him last time I was up here on the podium, and I really need to give a huge thank you to Bob Schuchar, because without him, I wouldn't even be out here. He gave me the engine that's in that car. I've run it the last 2 races and won the last 2. Maybe it was some voodoo, maybe it was some luck, maybe I just came on a little late in the season, but huge congratulations to this man over here, Zach Bristol, class of the field. He didn't get a race win this year, but he consistent the heck out of us, so congrats to him, and I'm just proud to be up here, and to finish second in points to Zach is almost like winning the championship, to be honest with you. So I feel great. I'm so happy for our team. All of us got into the top 10 in points. So, thanks to those guys, and man, what a good night. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate it.
All right, and Damon, we want to give it one more chance to give a shout out to who helps you get that car out here.
I want to thank Kia of Everett first and foremost. They gave me a good chunk of money this season, and they've been super supportive of my racing. GN Northwest, Dan and Christian Miller, Brandy Hood Promotions, Flooring Direct, BSR Racing, Bob Schuchar, my dad and his wife Barb coming out here and supporting me race after race this year, and the best team in motorsports at Evergreen Speedway, Hornets Nest Racing.
Well, let's give it up. Your main event winner tonight, second in points, Damon Claiborne. All right, he may have come home third tonight, but the only 3 he's seeing is a 3-peat. Your PRCBD 2025 Hornet champion, Zach Bristol. All right, Zach, in a year of consistency, how many times have you talked to us that consistency is key? You didn't even know that you were going to run for a championship in this division when the year started, but here we are, it's September, and you've gone back to back to back.
Yeah, we didn't know until I think February is when we agreed to run the mini, and I talked to Tommy, the car owner. It's like, hey, let's go for another round, just see if we can three-peat. No one's ever done it, and first in history to do it. That's just an awesome thing. But yeah, we had no intentions, and then I think about mid-season when we demolished that car on the front stretch that one race, and we thought we were done, and consistency kicked in. The whole team here, they kicked in whenever we needed it, because that car was bent multiple times this year, but we stayed in it. We had less bad breaks than everybody else, and thankfully came out on top again this year.
Nonetheless, the car was fast, consistency the key. Talk about what does it mean to set a historic record like a three-peat, specifically for you, knowing that how long you've been out here and how long you've been working for these.
I can't even put it into words. I mean, it was just awesome to get 2 in a row, and we were tied with Dawson, who I still consider the best Hornet driver that's ever ran this class, just to be able to equal him. And I didn't think it was going to happen. But, man, once we kind of got within the last 2 or 3 races, it was looking like we were going to get. It's like, okay, hopefully we don't screw this up, because Damon was keeping pressure on us the whole season. So, no, it's I'm really speechless about being the first in history to pull this off. This is awesome.
And obviously a large group up here on the podium with you. A lot of people you probably want to thank. Talk about who helps you get that one JR car out here all the time.
I'm going to thank the first group. Hornets Racing, where are you at? We just pulled history on, I think we have like six or seven cars. We all finished in the top 10 in points. Tommy and Candy Hibbs for me being lucky enough to get to drive that car last 3 or 4 years, all the championships, all the wins. My sponsors, Hibbs Automotive, Bennett Design Construction, Rev Up Energy, thank you guys for supporting me this year. Gourmet Latte, Towns Peterson LLC. This wonderful woman right here, Sarah, we'll be back here next week and run minis, but it's been awesome to run double duty, and she's been keeping on me. Beaners. Jenny, my good luck charm, is for you, brother. He's smiling down, and he's riding that car every single race. It's fun to take him shotgun. And thank you for all the fans for coming out. Thankfully, the weather was awesome. And, yeah, we'll see you either next week or see you next year.
Zach Bristol, the back-to-back Hornet champ.
We have crowned a Hornet champion, a Street Stock champion coming up next for the Tire Pros Street Stocks here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He has been Iman. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Ben, as the master of the points, you informed me this one is Dunsky coming into this race.
That's right. All that 06 machine needed to do was come across this line to start the main event tonight, and Steve Fatasic is going to walk home with a Street Stock championship.
Well, congratulations to Steve. That is multiple track titles for him. We know that, but nothing like another one. Adds another one to the shelf. Let's give you your lineup. We got 30 laps around the 3/8 for the Street Stocks.
Kenny Erickson leads us out in the Central Welding Supply sponsored 22. He's out at Tulalip. Starting next to Marty Sokolsky out of 89. In the 89, he's out of Woodinville in the Matthews Lumber Machine. Stuart Harding out of British Columbia pilots the Harding Forklift Services 39 on row number 2. Starting next to the Honey Badger, Andy Soul in the 3, the Tire Pros Machine. Andy joining us from Santan Valley, Arizona.
In the 3rd row, how about this for a little nostalgia? It's only been a little while since he was in the car. The Phillips Law Firm 69 is Mark Hubbard inside row number 3, substituting for Austin Camp. To his outside, the rookie Jackson Beckel, the 18J out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tire Pros of Arlington. 4th row, there is your champion, Steve Potasic out of Kirkland, the Lang Automotive 06. And his outside, Jim Fody, the 85 out of Edmonds, sponsored by Trademark RCS.
Scott Lacrosse pilots the 28 out of Monroe. He's sponsored by University Audi in Linwood. Tony Deegan in the 42 is out of Bothell. The IHOP in Monroe open all 24 hours of the day, Caleb. Up the rear. 3 a.m. pancakes hit a little harder when you know they're powering Tony Deegan around the 380.
Well, we'll see how much power he has tonight. We have one more lap to roll around before we go. Green Flag Racing. This should be a bunch of fun, as these Street Stock races normally are. File them in for 10 cars. Andy Soul did not make the start of the season, but he has been the guy who has picked up a lot of feature wins here lately. We'll keep our eyes on him. As side by side down the front row, the veteran Kenny Erickson and Sokolsky, still relatively young in his Street Stock career, off and running for the green.
Yeah, Soul's going to quickly try to clear Stuart Harding here. Now Harding will come alongside the 18J, Jackson Beckel. The two of them had a little bit of a scrap last time out, Caleb, and we'll see how things play between the 39 and the 18J as Jackson trying to take the outside and Kenny Erickson trying to close on Sokolsky Will, but here comes Andy Soul, wasting no time, making a quick lunge for the lead.
We know the Honey Badger will run the middle and run the top, and very, very proficient as it. As that 3 car is, you know, that's not just a driver thing, because now that is 2 straight drivers of that car that have proven how good they can roll the middle. That's a crew thing. That's a setup thing. That's a maneuverability thing. The Wilk Cruisemore team, yeah, they got that thing humming as he has got the lead coming off the 4.
Yeah, anytime that Tire Pros 3 machine has made an appearance here at Super Speedway of the West, it's always been a threat. And Potasek been one of the few cars that's been able, I think, to hang with Soul or with Jesse Jensen prior a lot of the time out. And some of these drivers have made gradual improvements, and we've seen the Camps, Fody, Beckel this year have been able to hang with some of those front runners as well. And maybe it's a different conversation if Andy Soul is out here for a full season or if someone piloted that 3 car all year long, and maybe Potasek wouldn't have waltzed to this championship as easily. But, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking is really easy, Caleb, and Steve Potasek's going to go home with a ring at the end of the year.
It's lots to think about back when we kick our season off in late March and early April, and the way that it all ends up shaking out. There's a lot of twists and turns to it, a lot of different feature winners as well, as you're looking at Stuart Hardy trying to hold off Mark Hubbard. Harding, a feature winner unto his own, is, hey, one arm, Jim Fody just hanging out. It's almost like he needs to have a heater hanging off there, right?
He's Joe Cool. Jim Fody just hanging around Sunday driving.
It's just chilling, right?
That is incredible. And the fact that Jim is driving so smoothly still through the turns, if you're watching his hands, he's going to hold it here and maybe make a little adjustment right there. But no, yeah, just kind of just chilling.
It does kind of force you to relax a little bit and, you know, keep that one hand steady as he's rolling around. Again, I think he needs to have a heater and a cup of coffee sitting there.
Yeah.
The coffee cup holder would be awfully nice.
Maybe someone should go get him a nice rev-up energy to be, you know, for his Monday morning drive kind of thing that Jim Fody is having in a street stock on the 3-8 oval.
I mean, I love Jim. I just don't want to see him drink an energy drink while in the street stock. That's not a thing I'm after.
You know, maybe not in the street stock, but, you know, the vibe of his morning commute, a.k.a. him ripping the 3-8 oval.
Meanwhile, up front, as Andy Soul is going bye-bye from everybody, the race for second, getting pretty good. Jackson Beckel has worked his way to the inside of Kenny Erickson, and he is passing him coming off the corner. Give the spot to Beckel. The team car coming in behind him, Mark Hubbard, proven didn't take too long to shake the cobwebs off of him. He is looking good.
Yeah, and it looks like Jackson Beckel's going to wrap up Rookie of the Year for the Tire Pro Street Stock, so congratulations to Jackson in that this season. So Andy Soul's opened up quite a big gap. We're seeing it through the speed shot there. And right now it's a battle between teammates and Beckel and Hubbard for second and third. Potasek trying to get his way around Erickson. That would be for fourth. And Sokolsky, Hardin, Lacrosse, and Fody kind of fill out our field. We did have, I believe, one car not make it out from earlier in the day, but 10 cars running out here today. Good to see the Tire Pro Street Stocks pulling up bigger numbers as the season has gone on.
Growth is always good, right?
Growth is always good.
Here it is, Erickson down on the low side. Potasek gets to the top and looking to make his final points race of the year a strong finish. You always want to end up with your championship run with a win if you can, but at least a good showing to finish things the way they're supposed to be. Strong as he's going to get up and around Erickson and into that spot.
Yeah, up into fourth. Looks like Potasek will have 3 more spots if he wants to get the win, but the 3 car is going to be hard to catch at this point. 16 laps to go, and you can see almost half, I want to say almost half a racetrack, the gap between Soul and fourth place Potasek with a pair of ARC racing cars and Tony Deegan between them. Great shot here from the Elevate Racing Media drone here in turns 3 and 4. You can see the lights. Someone must have gotten up into the dirt there. I saw some dirt kicked up in the air down the back straightaway.
Well, let's take a second to thank Busch Light Beer, the official beer of NASCAR, and Evergreen Speedway. Busch Beer, the sound of refreshment, crisp and cold as a mountain stream. That is Busch Beer. Crack one open. No better way to enjoy home track heroes than with an ice cold Busch.
Well, you know,
Busch Light.
Kick the feet up, hang the hand off the side of the couch like Jim Fody, and
That's post-race, though, for the Busch Light beer in the hand.
Well, for these gentlemen,
Yes.
it is
For
the post-race.
those who are of legal Busch Light age.
That's correct. We don't encourage any other illicit Busch Light activities. Andy Soul, beautifully running clean down the back straightaway. You can see how comfortably he's sitting right now, and this Tire Pros machine so smooth through the cars. Great onboard there with the Honey Badger. Sokolsky hunting Kenny Erickson right now. That's the battle for fifth between them, Fody, and Lacrosse right behind them.
You know, here on Home Track Heroes all year long, we've been spoiled with awesome in-car footage, and boy, we have seen a lot of this here out of Andy Soul on Home Track Heroes, brought to you by All Ply Roofing and the Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera shot of him just running away and having clear highway in front of him.
I wonder if Andy Soul's driving like Jim Fody right now, because that's what it sure feels like. Soul, the Honey Badger, is going to have 10 to go when he gets back to the line here, and yeah, this is just a nice drive for Andy Soul. Been picking up wins like a child picks up toys around Christmas.
It's a lot of toys. It's
It
a
is.
lot of wins.
Well, yeah, he has been the car to beat since returning midway through this year.
Interesting in through the corner. Watched him last time kind of hug the bottom quite nicely. That time up about a half a groove further than what he is, but doesn't really matter. He's got so much speed that he could play around if he wanted to. And again, spotter, and I don't remember who is spotting for the 3 car at this point in time, can easily say, yeah, 12 cars back, 14 cars back, 16 cars back, take it easy if you want to.
Yeah.
It's cake mode for him. However, third place is up for grabs. Mark Hubbard and Steve Potasic going to go after it.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting battle. We'll see what the 69 car has. And even again, Austin Camp not in the car tonight. Sub-driver Mark Hubbard. And Steve Potasic would love to finish up on the podium in his final race to secure a championship this year. Fody going underneath Scott Lacrosse. Lacrosse trying to hang it up on the high side and doing his best there. But real tough battle there between the 28 and the 85 across up the track. Another late season joiner for us and Scott, and really picking up the street stock quickly.
Doesn't the back, so that top of the car is called the greenhouse, by the way. And there's kind of a front to it, a slope to the front, and then there's a slope to the rear. Doesn't the rear of the greenhouse on the Lacrosse car make it almost look like a truck?
Yes.
It's subtle, but it's almost truck-esque.
Yeah, I would call it amateur for truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, Scott's a pro.
No, I mean, yeah, Scott, the driver's a pro, but the truck.
Right, gotcha.
Wouldn't
Either
qualify.
way, it's just a really unique look, and that's kind of one of the cool things about this class is Potasic has a nice run underneath Hubbard. Can Hubbard keep him at bay? No, Mark's got to go up top to the middle. Now, we know how proficient Hubbard is at running the middle to high groove. We have seen that in some of his championship runs. That's a new race car for him. Can Hubbard figure it out and keep Potasic at bay? Can't do it going into turn number 1. Looks like Potasic's nosing ahead.
Yeah, Potasic will clear here. Good run there for Steve Potasic. Gets himself up onto the podium as Soul's going to get us 2 laps to go. But to your point, Caleb, was something actually I talked with Steve Potasic about earlier this year, and he says one of the reasons he loves his street stock division is that the cars aren't so cookie cutter as he would describe
Yeah,
it.
there's a different, most of the cars have a slightly different body, from Deegan, who looks like an old school bomber, to the Soul car, which, throw a different piece here or there, and it's a late model. It's definitely one of the cool parts about the street stocks I love.
Well, Andy Soul's got the white to go, which means one more time for the Honey Badger, who will loop it through 3 and 4. It was a Saturday walk in the park. He can hear the band playing in the background. Chicago bringing Andy Soul to his win tonight. Jackson Beckel in second, and our champion, Steve Potasic, will finish in third.
Chicago?
Saturday in the park.
Oh, all right.
All right.
I'm not as familiar with Chicago's library as I need to be, clearly.
Yeah, I guess. I normally we're reversing roles in this situation.
No,
I don't know what to say right now.
You got me here. As it is Andy Soul, slow rolling and through, and Steve Potasic is going to collect the big trophy in the hardware. We'll see him at the Evergreen Speedway Banquet, which traditionally comes up in January, getting to speak in front of the crowd, and he will burn it down for everybody in the grandstands now.
Another great burnout donut. Steve Potasic burning it down, and great onboard here. I'm getting dizzy, but I still love it. As Potasek, a lot of great tire smoke off these Hoosier 970s, and big motors mean big smoke.
Oh, can't hardly even see him anymore. Ben White would love this. That is big ol' smoke in the middle. Your champion and your race winner and more, talking to the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
I know it isn't a title this time, but you still get Rookie of the Year, still got brand new experience in the big 8 cylinders. What was the season like for you?
Very up and down. Started the season hitting the wall, and really from there, podium, not a podium, tearing the car apart. I don't know. I really got to thank everybody that's here, you guys for being here, PTM and Augie, my whole crew, my dad, Jordan, Sierra for dealing with my dad, AJ for sure, putting a lot of hours in, Tire Pros and Fast Eddies. You guys really helped me out this year. Genesis Heating and Cooling. It's coming into wintertime. Make sure you get a heater. Hold on. ARC Racing, Austin. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to come out this year. So big thank you to him. Hopefully we'll be back next year and even faster. And yeah, I don't know. It feels good to be a rookie.
One last question. What do you think is the biggest thing you learned this season of street stock competition?
It's really just bump to pass with nicer bodies. That's really what it is. It's more expensive bump to pass. It's really fun. It's cooler than a mini stock.
Driver the number 18J, second place tonight, Jackson Beckel. Andy, you joined us for the second half of the season and really have just been tearing it up. What has it been like back behind the wheel here at Evergreen?
It's been a ton of fun. Obviously, we're racing out here with Dirk and Rob and the iconic 3-car. I mean, it's super fast. So we won 4 out of 5, I believe. So had a little mishap with a black flag in the middle back there a few races back, but I feel pretty confident we probably would have won all 5 that we were here at. But it's been good. The car's prepped really well. We've got great power with Dave Payton, and Fast Eddie's has stepped up and helps us out on the car and stuff. So we've got a slew of other sponsors too that Dirk's got.
Yeah, we got to thank Tire Pros of Arlington, Fast Eddie's Tire Pros, Matabusin family, Performance Machine. We wouldn't be out here anytime these past few years if it wasn't for Dave and Jan and Shanda and the girls. So we appreciate them. I got to thank Darcy for bringing food to us every week. Championship Tilly really made a difference tonight. Hatterville Properties, All Ply Roofing too. If you need a roof, go see Dave at All Ply Roofing.
And one last question for you, Andy. Will we see you next year?
Oh, you'll see me next year. Do you want me back?
I do. Driver of the number 3, your race winner tonight, Andy Soul. Third place tonight, but the champion overall, driver of the 06, get up for Steve Potasek. If my count is right, Steve, this is number 3 for you in this division. What's it like coming in year after year, seeing different competitors, some of the same faces, some new faces, and still taking home that third one?
It's awesome. I just wish more people would do it, and it's a shame that this year we had a low count, but life happens and people are hurt with knees and marriages, and life goes on, and this year we were the brunt of loss of cars. Every year, late models had it one year, Outlaws, Minis, so it happens. But I think just to race all these guys, it's awesome. Come out here and have somewhere to have fun. It's a good time.
Looking ahead in the schedule, I believe you're behind the wheel of a late model tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was asked to pilot one. It's just going to be for fun, nothing too serious. Start in the back and see what happens, But other than that, I got to thank these guys for being here all year. Like, this wouldn't be happening without it, so.
Got any other sponsors you'd like to thank?
Lang Auto Sports, half price cars.
All righty. Driver the number 06, Steve Batasic, your champion in third place tonight.
Home Track Heroes continues here on Seattle 11. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. He's Ben Hyman. I'm Caleb Hart. It's time. The Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8s are rolling their way to the track. And Ben, this was a battle until it wasn't, because a little bit earlier on, we had some issues in the heat race.
That's right, Matt. Somerville claimed in the intersection and during his heat race, and that swing in points was all it took to swing and solidify Cody Hoops picking up a 4th Stinger 8 championship at the Super Speedway of the West. His first since 2019.
It looks like Somerville is still able to roll, so
yes,
he'll be a
the
part of this
repaired.
main event, but the lack of getting through the heat race hurts the season points, so congratulations to Cody Hoops. Front row for this one is Cody Weldon, the All Ply Roofing LLC 151 out of Arlington. Mike Hathaway's next to him in the 46 out of Marysville, sponsored by Repin Welding and Rail. Second row, Captain Chaos Jacob Funk in the 8 out of Mill Creek. And to his outside, the DL Enterprises number 20 of Riley Riddell from Gold Bar.
102 machine is Randy Moffitt out of Everett, sponsored by B&R Drywall. He'll start next to your Stinger 8 Rookie of the Year. Diesel Snyder in the 717 out of Cle Elum, Handy in the Valley sponsors him. Peyton Hopp in the 16 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Cut Shop of Woodinville. He'll start next to the aforementioned Matt Somerville out of Monroe. Airport Welding and Muffler aboard the 21.
It's the 43 of Damon Claiborne. Addison Holmish, Kiev Everett sponsors him, and Zach Bristol in the 07. The Hibbs Automotive car from Snohomish here in the 5th row. There's your champion, 10 of Cody Hoops out of Marysville, the JBR car, and the 01 of Tanner Bjornson out of Arlington, sponsored by All Ply Roofing. These drivers, final points race of the year, but we have more Stinger 8 racing to come at the 60 Minutes of Fear.
That's right.
Coming up.
The Stinger Little 30.
That's right. Well, it's 30 minutes of oh no for them.
30 minutes of oh no.
Yes.
I like that better.
Although that particular race is always a really good time. So.
Oh, that's true. I think we've got some things in the works, I think, for the Little 30. So we'll keep that under wrap and we'll see. But Hathaway, Riddell, and Snyder quickly move forward. Here comes Somerville and Hoops, and Michael Hathaway, that's the infield. Don't want to be there. And where did Cody Hoops go? Not sure. It looks like, there he is. He was battling with the president of Club No Lift, Cody Weldon.
So Riddell will have the early lead. Snyder 2, Somerville 3, and Hoops all the way from the back row to 4th on the opening lap. No truth to the rumor, by the way, that we're bringing the Youth Hornets to come out and run the figure 8 on the 60 Minutes of Fear for the 15 minutes of
You know what? They run their own 1/5 mile like they have an intersection sometimes. So
there's some truth to that.
They don't even need a figure 8 race, but I'm sure the fans would love it, and I'm sure the parents would hate it.
I'm in. How do I get this booked?
I think you need to contact 1-800 not
gonna happen.
Yeah, I think or just put enough money in the parents' pockets that they don't care when the cars get ripped up.
All right, both of those are options. If I win the Mega Millions, we'll figure something out. Riddell leads, and he's getting lots of pressure here from Diesel Snyder. Meanwhile, Zach Bristol renewing rivalries back and through the field is Peyton Hopp, Zach Bristol, a whole bunch of guys.
Peyton Hopp has rookie stripes on the backup car.
That's fantastic.
Peyton is I don't think anywhere near a rookie anymore, I would say. He's been doing this for a handful of years, and you're a reigning figure 8 nationals winner here in the Stinger division, and he's got rookie stripes on his backup car.
We got a battle for the lead going pretty hard here. Diesel Snyder has gotten to the inside of Riddell through this corner, and he's trying to bring Somerville with him. Riddell trying to keep up, but cannot get back to the inside here on the right-hand set of corners, and he'll settle back into second.
Diesel will shut the door. They were in a battle box for a little while in that 4x4. Now Cody Hoops, Matt Somerville going to war. The 3 JBR cars running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I'm sure John is really smiling ear to ear somewhere on this facility, watching his 3 cars run well tonight.
Well, it's either that as, Riddell pushes a little getting into the corner, did not get through that the way he wanted to. Somerville and Hoops will both get past. Look out, Mike Hathaway, as Damon Claiborne comes in. So it's either he's grinning ear to ear, or second place sucks and he's really mad.
That could also be true. I don't know. We don't have a John Bender cam. Maybe that's something we can install.
note to the production crew
note
for
to the production
2026.
crew. I want a dedicated camera on the facial expressions of John Bender.
Maybe we could get Brandy to hook up like a GoPro to the brim of his hat.
You know what? That is more realistic than Youth Hornet figure 8. So
I like both. Diesel Snyder continuing to lead as Damon Claiborne from the in-car camera, speaking of the Brandy Hood Promotions shot. Boy, as smooth as he was on the road course, just as smooth on this figure 8. That car just handles tonight.
Yeah, Damon, whatever he did, Fred Flintstone has the car dialed in and really helps when you're powering it with your own 2 feet. But Damon trying to make his way around Riley Riddell. This is the battle for 4th right now. Riddell trying to defend from Claiborne in this 1-lane flat 1/5 mile oval. It gets tough. Maybe using Weldon as a pick here.
Look about where Claiborne's legs were. I saw something like light up. It's like, is that a cell phone? You got a cell phone in there? Is that what's happening here?
I don't actually know, but is it sunglasses? Maybe like reflecting off the light poles?
I want to say it's a cell phone. I think somebody's sending him Apple Watch signals is what's happening here.
Claiborne giving Riddell a bit of a bump there and trying to move his way forward as we had a car around as these two shoot through the intersection smoothly there. Looked like the 01 of Bjornsson got sideways momentarily, but got it all fixed and it's moving forward. So again, good battle here. Claiborne, how patient are you, Damon, before maybe you start to use more of the front bumper and a little bit less of just your raw speed?
Well, again, we have more Hornet and Stinger 8 racing to come up at this point in time in the year, so you don't want to get to the point where you're overly risky and really have to put in a bunch of effort to fix the car up. So I don't know how pushy he's going to get there, and especially considering there's 3 spots in front of him in a spread out field that's getting really, really intense. We'll take a second here during this Buzzin' Stinger 8, a main event, and say thank you to Central Welding Supply. Central Welding Supply's family-owned service hasn't changed since 1975, a proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway for over 25 years. Central Welding Supply's outstanding customer service is the industry leader in gases, welding, safety supplies for industry and life. Choose Central Welding Supply. Race leader Diesel Snyder feeling some pressure from Matt Somerville out in the front of this. Again, Somerville issues in the heat race. It won't be his year for points. That is the Cody Hoops 10 car, of which you've got on the right-hand side of your screen.
Somerville getting a little aggressive. No, you know what? My car's already had a lot of work done. I know I'm going to have to fix a lot of stuff already. Now, gave Diesel a little bit of a bump, now trying to run to the outside. Cody Hoops just la 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 as he's running away in third, just keeping out of all the way and keeping out of the damage, I think. Just trying to stay out.
How was that again?
He's singing. He's just singing to himself.
Okay.
Like, imagine just he's skipping along, flailing his arms around. And
Mike Hathaway going to play a factor in this. He had slowed up to avoid the intersection collision, and now he's got the inside. Meanwhile, look out! Oh, little love tap there at the very end. Battle for your lead on the right-hand side of your screen, and chaos on the left-hand side.
Yeah, gentlemen, the Stinger double X can be a different time. We don't need to go run all the way out there, but looks like just avoidance kind of causing more problems as Jacob Funk has slowed for the intersection, and we're on board with Hoops. He's now closed up to Matt Somerville and Diesel Snyder, so enough flailing the arms, skipping through the park. He's ready to go to war.
Meanwhile, intersection really warm in and behind him as Somerville still eyeballing Snyder. Snyder made the right move to get around Hathaway in bringing Somerville with him. But boy, Ben, that middle of the racetrack, scary, scary, boys and girls.
Yeah, we've so far staved off any serious intersection action.
We know Cody Weldon's not lifting.
But yeah, the president of Club No Lift putting his money where his mouth is and sending the 151 through the intersection. And Matt Somerville was like, "Oh, please, not again." And he's like, "I've already been nailed here once today."
Do you think that drivers who get clipped by Club No Lift are obligated to buy the T-shirt, which is in the works, by the way?
I don't know if they're required to. I think they should be gifted the T-shirt. I think it's the other way around.
That's not a bad idea. Jacob Funk, meanwhile, is not Captain Chaos tonight. That's like the 3rd time I've seen him blow that car up.
Yep.
He's Captain have a nice cup of tea and a book at night.
I told you his membership was under probationary review after certain recent lifting.
Yeah, lack of chaotic
no
Jacob
lift.
missed.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
But he does have a super stock still. So
All right, more to come from Captain Chaos, hopefully later, as they're coming up on the back of Bjornsson. Bjornsson, who doesn't have an abundance of Stinger 8 experience. A lot of road course with the Hornet, but getting used to the Stinger 8 stuff will get out of the way.
he's
And
also
now-
run his fair few of mini bump.
That's right. Cody Weldon gets mini bumped out of the way going into the corner. As there goes Somerville following him through, and Matt Somerville getting a little more aggressive with his front bumper now on Diesel Snyder. We're down to 7 to go this time around.
Yeah, Somerville's trying to do everything he can to try to maybe unsettle the run a little bit of Snyder, but this has been one of Diesel's best qualities in a Stinger 8 this year, is his ability to just ignore the fact that you're hitting his bumper. Really, he's had a really strong run at it, and it doesn't let it affect his line too much. A big bump there, going to open the door. Here comes Somerville, but Snyder's going to have the inside lane as they run back towards the South Pole. So he might be able to fend this off still, Caleb.
It's going to be on Somerville to keep that right front corner panel enough to the inside of Snyder that he can't close it. Cannot do it. Although, don't be surprised if you don't see another love tap right about that apex of getting into the left-hander.
Yeah, Somerville really throwing the car at Snyder. Oh,
there it is.
There it is.
It's on the opposite side of the course this time.
But again, Diesel's going to have the inside again. Somerville, but he is not necessarily right place, right time with these moves, but knows dying embers of this race. I just got to make the move when I can. Trying to keep it with him. Can he keep the car in there? No, again.
Wow. Great defensive driving from Snyder, although he left too much of that gap open to the inside, and Somerville is clear.
But crossover, here comes Diesel Snyder now to the outside. They touch rears. Now they're going to loop back around to the North Pole. Matt Somerville will have the inside as they're coming back to the white flag. 1 to go. Haymakers in this heavyweight bout.
I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't see one more big old thump coming at some point in time. Somerville grabs the lead. Here's Snyder. He's got one shot at her, and there's the thump.
He's
there's
going
a
to try to push him through the corner.
And it's no good. Give it to Somerville for the win.
Wow, what a fight. Cody Hoops just watched all of that front row seat to an incredible battle. Congrats, Cody Hoops, on your championship. Comes home in third. But Matt Somerville, a late race pass on Diesel Snyder. Both the drivers leaning on each other, elbows out. And the former champ and the two-time champ is ultimately going to use his experience to defeat the Rookie of the Year in his youth.
Well, there you go. Matt Somerville gets the win, and we will watch him celebrate. But Cody Hoops is the guy tonight who will take the big accolades home as he is your season champion. And there's those two going to gas her up and cause some steam on the front row. Your feature winner and your points winner combined.
Yeah, Cody Hoops, Matt Somerville celebrating together. Large plume of smoke there out of the cars. We're going to catch up with them and Diesel Snyder on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Well, Diesel, the podium tonight means you're going to be our Rookie of the Year for the Stinger 8 division. Put together a strong campaign all year. What does this mean? Are you coming back to run this 8 again next year?
I'm not too sure yet, but I'm pretty stoked about a second place on championship night. That feels pretty cool.
You've had a fast car no matter what you've run. Hornets, Stingers, and that 717. Who helps you get that machine out here?
Number one is my mom standing right here. My grandpa Ron standing right here. My dad, Tom, Papa Gino, you guys make this possible for me. I gotta thank Valley Asphalt, Handy in the Valley, Snow Valley bus drivers, the SC Teen Shop Center, and Brandy Hood Promotions for the amazing videos, and this awesome place we can go to race at week in, week out, and yeah.
Well, let's make some noise for second place, Diesel Snyder. Lot to come. Your Rookie of the Year, the 717, Diesel Snyder. All right, Matt, to finish the year off on the top step of the podium's got to feel pretty good for the 21 team. You had a strong battle coming into the night with your teammate, Cody. Ultimately, didn't quite break your way, but second place in points and a really strong finish for your team.
Absolutely. Just here to try to win races, and tonight we were able to capitalize that. And, I mean, who better to win the championship than my teammate, Cody?
A good run for you guys. Who helps you get that car out here?
John Bender Racing, Airport Welding and Muffler, Allied Motorsports, Just everybody in the pits here. I think it was Frost Towing straightened this car out after it got destroyed in the heat race. So what a full team effort, and just amazing to have my family here and friends.
All right, Matt Somerville ends the year off a race winner. Driver of the 21, the top step tonight. And next up onto the podium, claiming his 4th Stinger Championship, driver of the 10, Cody Hoops. Returning this year, we saw you coming in last a little bit, but your first championship since 2019. How good is it to be now a 4-timer in the division?
Yeah, 4-time. Sounds a lot better than 3-time. It feels good, man. I came into the year just wanting to have fun, and I kept having fun every week, kept being successful, and decided to make it a whole season, so it's pretty cool to win it.
Yeah, you had a great battle there coming into the night with Matt. Ultimately, you were able to stick with him most of the night. 3rd place on the night, but mean that you were clearing away the champion. And just talk about getting to battle your teammate here on coming into the night.
Yeah, trying to stay safe tonight in the race. Matt hit in the heat. We got him all straightened out. To see him win, man, that's really cool. What a comeback. But, race with Matt all year, race with Riley all year. It's just been a blast.
Obviously, you can't get it done by yourself. Who helps you get that 10 car back out here all the time?
Stepdad Tom's here every week. I don't think he's missed a race in 10 years. He's my guy. John Bender, JBR, he helps so many guys out here, and he's just a great friend, great guy. Dave Riddell, he's always helping out. Katie's always feeding us. Shelby. Matt Somerville, he always helps on the car. Just a fun year.
Well, the 10 car is back on the top step. Cody Hoops, your 4-time Stinger 8 champion.
It is a championship night number 1 here at Evergreen Speedway on Home Track Heroes in Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He has been in our show, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Should mention PRCBD championship night number 1. Night number 2 is coming up next week, but we've got a Legends track title to give out now, Ben. And this one is all wrapped up, yes?
Correct. It is going the way of Braden Wagger. Congrats to the 30B, your Evergreen Speedway most popular driver, coming home with a championship this year. He told me this was the goal coming into the year. With his close friend Kyle Lang moving up into the late model division, he had his sights set on this, and Braden raced well enough this year to bring it on home.
Well done, Braden. Congratulations to him and Paul, and hi, Braden's mom. How you doing? Andrew Reel is on the pole of this one. It's the 20X out of Corbett, Oregon, sponsored by Sharp Transportation. Samantha Schwartz, the 40 out of Mercer Island, sponsored by Mountain Equipment. Row number 2 is Jaden Luce out of Issaquah, sponsored by Mom and Dad in the 19 car. And the 30B, your champion, Braden Wager from Camino Island, sponsored by Dirt Cheap Sewer.
Kaylee Deckers in the 68 out of Duval, sponsored by Lewis and Maine, starting next to the 13 of Jeremiah Johnson out of Linwood. LB Motorsports sport that car. Damian Harris in the 20 out of Lake Stevens is sponsored by Flow Master Gutters. And Davis Jacobson out of Wilkeson pilots the 15D, the Evergreen Concrete Cutting Machine.
The 5th row is Danny Arnold out of Puyallup, sponsored by Northern Environmental. To his outside, it's the 11M of Rick McNeil out of Bellevue in the Optimus construction car. 6th row is Joe Decker, 86 out of Duval, sponsored by Lewis and Maine. To his outside, Piper Alton's 42A from Port Angeles, sponsored by Mom and Dad and Uncle.
Chris Thompson pilots the 10 out of Snohomish, the Weatherite Roofing Incorporated machine, next to the 27 of Dakota Gershala out of Snohomish, the Apex Home Services car. The Weatherite Roofing machine is also aboard the 30 of Garrett Grushala, starting next to the 86X of Jeff Mueller out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Thermotech.
The 9th row is Grayson Miller out of Puyallup, sponsored by Veterans Roofing. To his outside from Renton in the Masonator Racing 53, it's Ian Humphreys. And row number 10, Adriana Camp, the 9 from Monroe, sponsored by the Legal Umbrella. And it's Matt Dugas out of Mukilteo. The Tacoma Comedy Club sponsors the 24.
Josh Velox in the 76C out of Edmonds. He says, put your business here. Starting next to the 55, Bella Luce out out of Issaquah. Brian Grant in the 29 out of Maltby, sponsored by Unknown Tattoo, brings up the rear. Caleb, it's a big legend field, no surprise here. I'm told, I've been told by exactly one person that they love watching the Legends at Evergreen Speedway. I'm sure there are more of you out there, and I would love for you to tell me that, because sometimes I need a reminder.
You can find Ben on social media in multiple different places. Please flood him with the messages of that. That would be great.
Yeah, actually, I would love to find our Legend enjoyers out there.
We're green down the back straightaway as shooting out to early lead. Boy, what a year it has been for Andrew Reel. After coming through about mid-season, picking up that win, goes off to find some late model glory, and he has just been on the hammer ever since. Reel with your early lead here in the Legend A.
Yeah, early lead. Jaden Luce up into second. Now Kaylee Decker's jumped up a few spots, fighting Samantha Schwartz for third right now. Here comes Damian Harris to the inside of your champion. Braden Wager, good battling. All of these, the young battle, all of these drivers fairly young in the field and up front right now. So the youth movement occupying the NX Legend class here at Evergreen Speedway.
Heck, fairly sure that Wager still doesn't have his driver's license, right?
I don't know.
It's got to be getting closer, but at this point in time, it's in question.
Whatever poor DMV operator has to get in the car with Braden is going to realize he's a lot better at this than they first thought, and then also be terrified because he's a lot better at this than they first thought.
Should make him take the Legend to go get his driver's license. That'd be awesome.
Do you just strap the DMV person to like the roof, like with like a harness, or?
It's a really big toe strap. As we got one around in the corner, and that is Davis Jacobson's 15D. The Wilkeson driver is facing the wrong way, and we get our first caution of this one 2 laps in.
Yeah, tough break there for Jacobson. Let's take a look at see how this incident occurred. He's going to the inside of Jeremiah Johnson here, and in the middle of the corner, and around.
Yeah, these cars, again, we say it every time they run out here, there's so much power in these motors with such a short little wheelbase that it's really easy to just snap spin them when you overcook it. So we'll watch from the back end of the Damian Harris car, and just like that, around it goes.
Yeah, the twitchy, you could say, Caleb. Very twitchy.
That is a word we've used more than a time or two. It makes these hard car to drive, but once you got mastery of it, you tend to see, and especially those drivers up front, like, again, we're talking about our champion Wager, you rarely see him spin unless he's getting tapped, hit, touched, etc. Same with your reels. Same with the rest of the drivers at the front of the field. Jaden Luce has been awfully clean unless baited into incidents. So once you get it, you got it. But the learning process can be tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And the Legends these are crate machines. You get them in a box and you can open it up and go racing at, I would say, almost every racetrack in America, at least.
Yep. You may have some tracks that, I'm going to say, alter a tire rule here or there. We have heard of different brand tires on them, but it's about it. Within the package itself, you're offered a couple of different body types. You can either run the sedan or the coupe. You are allowed differences in shock packages now. Used to be everybody was on the exact same shock. Now you have some options as far as that goes. So they're introducing more elements that doesn't make all of the cars as cookie cutter. But, you're not going to be down on power comparatively. Other than maybe driver weight, you should get down to about the same weight range. So, still just a lot of driver skill involved and, quite a bit of setup acumen depending on what you're trying to do.
Well, we've been talking about the Legends here. Jaden Luce has made the pass on Andrew Reel on the restart, gotten to the lead for the 19 car. Reel running second, Braden Wager in third right now. The lights come on. Great shot here of them into turn 3 out of the back straightaway. Thank you again to Elevate Racing Media for that drone footage. And Jaden Luce is going to have to play a lot of defense to keep Andrew Reel behind him for 23 more laps. Let's go on board here with Damian Harris running, I think running 6th right now, Damian is.
Talk about a young driver who's really picking it up here in the back half of this year. Damian Harris has started to put together some of the race results he was looking forward to when he stepped out of quarter midget racing and right into the Legend a few years ago. It's a big step going from a little 5 horsepower putt-putt quarter midget car on an 1/8 mile to the 3/8 mile track that you're on now. And the big, I want to say they're bordering 200 horsepower on the motor packages these days.
Yeah, but Damian has really picked it up this back half of the year. He's started to pick up more of those top 10s, inching towards the top 5 finishes consistently for the 20 car. Excited to see what his 2026 campaign can be like if he's back here in this Legend.
plans being made now. I am 100% sure, as you can see how close he is rolling in on the back of Samantha Schwartz. Down the back straightaway, Samantha, better corner exit, but Harris certainly carrying momentum into the turn and closing in on the back bumper of that car.
Yeah, Damien, really, you can see how rough these rides are, too, is how low to the ground these cars are and how quick they are and tough to handle and ripping around. And we're talking about the track itself is not smooth.
Right.
Or it is old and beat in.
So as opposed to your stock car tires, which, you know, some of these guys, I don't want to say they're on a DOT, but they're on a normal car-sized tire, right? These are 13-inch wheels and tires. They're not big. Think of like a motorcycle tire.
Yeah.
And width-wise, they don't grab a ton of racetrack either. That's part of the reason that you're seeing some of the rumble in them is that, you know, you have a shock that's controlling your weight transfer along with the sway bar, but your tires are supposed to act as shock absorbers to a chance as well, like in your normal street ride. And these are definitely not. They're not big enough. There's not enough air in them to handle that. So we'll talk more Legends here in just a second. But right now, I got to tell you, if you want to fund your future Legend racing operation, you might want to try the Washington's Lottery. Created in 1982, Washington Lottery established to generate revenues for state programs through the sale of lottery products. Lotto scratch more than 30 games a year to experience, along with Powerball, Mega Millions, Hit 5, Match 4, and Daily Keno. Washington's Lottery. Dream big.
Well, Caleb, I know you would fund your youth Hornet figure 8 racing if you won the Washington Lottery.
I might fund some Legend figure 8 racing too.
Oh, Legend figure 8 racing. What about late model figure 8 racing?
The 10 minutes of woohoo. No. I like my late models not torn up.
Okay, so we know where the line in the sand is.
Well, right. And I want to see them run more than.
You know what? I'm going to throw this one out. I would love to see those spec Ranger trucks have an intersection.
Like a big road course figure 8 kind of thing?
Yeah.
Huh. If the ramps are involved, I'm in.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. We watched Jaden Luce working down the back straightaway. Real had lost touch with him for a couple of seconds, but he is definitely closer right now. Figure half a car length, maybe even less between the two of them. And we say a car length. I know once in a while I'll get a question, well, how do you determine a car length? Estimate the size of the car. How many of them can you plunk in? Or the car in front of him? That, yeah, it's going to vacillate class to class because these are little baby race cars. Mm-hmm. So right now, about half of a Legend in between Jaden Luce and Andrew Reel.
I would say that's about right. So half a Legend or one Derek Todorov separating Jaden Luce and Andrew Reel right now is they're rolling around. This has been a great drive from Jaden. Can't discredit his run. As we talked about the skill of Andrew Reel, a good run here. We saw him at the Mark Galloway shootout and went over and won the Idaho 200 in a late model. And talk about, he's been talked about around the Northwest as an up-and-coming young driver. It's not easy to defend from him, and Jaden Luce has done a very, very solid job of it for over 13 laps now.
Well, Luce is a feature winner here at Evergreen Speedway for a reason. He can get around this racetrack, and no matter the pedigree and the genetics of a guy like Andrew Reel in behind him, Jaden Luce, very capable out in front of this field, and showing it right now as we're going to look backwards. We went in car with Damian Harris a little bit earlier, and Harris now feeling it from Danny Arnold, the 11.
Yeah, Danny Arnold sniffing at the Flowmaster Gutters machine and Damian Harrison. Them running behind Samantha Schwartz. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Good battle here now in the closing embers of this race. A heat race distance worth to go, and Braden Waggers had an easy drive, and we have a car in the grass here. And a man on a 3-wheeled bicycle. That's Alan. Hi, Alan.
Bryant Grant looks like he stuffed her into the tires in the back straightaway. There is Grant. And let's get a look. And we do go in car with him. This could be fun. Round. That's a scary feeling when everybody is coming at you and you're pointed the wrong way. All right, didn't stuff it in the tires, but frightening nonetheless.
Yeah, and you can see this just kind of caused to slow up. All the cars just kind of brought themselves to a big slow up, and the caution flag came out.
You got to wonder, and we don't have access to the receiver radio, what they're listening to, but if a driver like Luce, because you saw him lift real big there at the end, if he was doing that of his own volition, or if he had heard something on the receiver that said, hey, slow up, if he hadn't, there's no guarantee a caution flag's coming out at any point in time. That could have cost him.
That's true. Luckily for Jaden, it did come out, and we will rack and stack, and going to the bottom with Andrew Reel, and I'm just realizing I called it a 3-wheel bicycle instead of just a tricycle. But Jaden Lewis is going to restart next to Andrew Reel, Braden Weger on row number 2, and Kaylee Decker on the outside.
Very Todorovian of you on that one as we work down the front straightaway and back to green.
Jaden's going to get a good jump here. Reel going to try to make the high line work. This has been a class where that mid to high groove hasn't worked as well. And Caleb, I wonder if there's maybe something to offer at the idea that this, when we see a Andy Soul run his 3 street stock up there in that mid groove, he can seem to make it work. But are these cars, it's almost, I feel like Andrew Reel stuck between the 2 grooves because you can fit so many of them wide compared to some of the bigger cars. I don't know if that's playing much into this.
I don't know if that is the entirety of the factor. Yeah, he's not as far up in the racetrack, and you can physically see that from the end car here with Braden Weger, right? Their track width, what they're sitting on is not nearly as much. You're right. So the middle groove in a Legend is not the same as the middle groove in a street stock. I think more of it is that it's hard to build mechanical advantage in on one of these Legend cars. With the street stocks, you're pretty wide open in your program, right? You could go car to car to car. So we got a bid for the lead on the left-hand side, car to car to car, and not find a whole lot of similar race car parts, inclinations of them, etc. Whereas here, again, you don't have as much ability to build a different car that can, let's say, I want to engineer this car to run in the middle groove. You don't have the options to do it. That's one of the drawbacks of crate racing.
And that is one of the tough things. So Andrew Reel's really having to sniff his nose anywhere around, try to find any advantage and speed he can find. But Jaden Lewis is not making it easy, hugging the bottom of the track. And Braden Weger is, I think, happy to let this battle play out in front of them. They hug the wall, and then they hug the bottom through the turns. And Reel's had a lot of raw speed in the 20, but just hasn't been able to get to the 19 so far. Jaden, you can see, look at that, 3 car length or so down the back straightaway, starting to maybe pull a little bit away from the Corbett, Oregon driver.
As this has, that lead has waxed and waned, right? Sometimes it'll open up a little, and then Reel sticks together a couple of better laps. He'll close back in. Here's the problem. 3/8 of a mile to go, this time by the flag stand, as we see the doctor's jacket up in the air, and one singular time left around Evergreen Speedway for the championship, which belongs to the driver in third.
Yeah, Braden Weger is going to enjoy the taste of sparkling apple cider in Victory Lane, and Andrew Reel is going to maybe try to make a late race lunge on Jaden Lewis. He won't. Jaden Lewis, a competent, solid defensive drive, and puts together quite a masterclass here, and will win on the final night here for the Legends in 2025. And so congrats to Andrew on the podium, congrats to Braden on his championship, and congrats to Jaden on the race win.
Yeah, fantastic race win for Jaden Lewis. Got that lead, never looked back, even though he had pressure. As it is celebration time here, Braden Weger set the goal, accomplished the goal, not just as voted by the people the most popular driver, but now a champion here at Evergreen Speedway, as his pedigree coming up and through quarter midget ranks and even more shows that championships are going to be the future for the driver of the 30 car.
Yeah, winners win, Caleb, and Braden Weger wins night. Getting a lot of smoke out of this Legend. Sometimes the Legend burnouts are, like you said, smaller tires and not as much power, but doing a really good job of smoking it up for Braden Weger.
Legend tires were hard to find for a little bit. Maybe conservation might be the right choice. Careful, brakes. Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium coming up.
All right, Jaden. At times, an up and down season. We saw you at one point upside down with Danny Arnold here in the front stretch wall, but to finish 2025 off, back up on the top step, how's that got to feel for you in the 19 team?
This feels better than my first 2 wins by far. I mean, the amount of ups and downs we've had this year, wrecking here, wrecking the whole car, having to get a whole new chassis, to wrecking it at State Line just 3 weeks ago and having to put it together, and just all the hard work that me and my dad have put into it. It feels so good to be rewarded.
Well, nonetheless, another win for you guys, a strong points run for you, end up getting on the top step. Who helps you all year long get that car out here?
Northern Environmental, Orca Bin Wash, my mom and dad, and my sister.
Well, Jaden Lewis is going to end 2025 on the top step of the podium. Make some noise for the driver of the 19. And well, he finished third place tonight, but he's going to finish first in your points standings. Put your hands together for the 30B, Braden Weger. Well, Braden, We talked, you had this goal in mind all the way back at the start of this year. And ultimately, you came home third tonight, which just seemed to be a trend with our champions, I won't lie. But getting up on the podium at the end of the night and being the top step, being able to call yourself an Evergreen Speedway champion, what's that feeling like?
It feels great. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I'd be over racing WQMA. I had a dream of racing here, and never crossed my mind that I'd be standing up here as a champion. So it's pretty awesome to get this opportunity from Colin King.
Well, you had a fast car all year long. Consistency, the name of the game, ultimately. Talk about, when it came down to the wire, how much was in your mind about points and stuff in these final few races?
Honestly, I was trying not to think about it too much, just thinking about consistent finishes. And honestly, it's not always about how many races you win. It's about how many top fives and how well you do through the season.
Well, in 2024, Evergreen Speedway, you were named our most popular driver. In 2025, we're going to get to call you a legend champion. Who helps you get that 30B out here?
I'd like to thank Francesca and Colin King for even giving me this opportunity to be out here on this track with that amazing car. I want to thank Ava Cannon Real Estate, Blue Collar LLC, Pacific Street Rods, Purcell, Central Welding Supply, Nexus Fab, Big Kahuna Fishing, DeYoung Inc., my mom, my dad, everyone who's helped me out this year, Kim, Clint, Kyle Lang, Ricky Arnold, and all the fans for coming out tonight. Everyone's here to support me.
Well, let's make some noise one more time. Your 2025 Legend Champion, Braden Wagger.
Excited to have you guys in here with us on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Happy Sunday night to you. Unfortunately, yes, tomorrow is Monday. You do have to wake up and go to work. But before then, we have the final Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model A main event of the year for the championship, Ben Iman, as this one is undecided coming into the same eight.
Correct. This one is more duel is close. It is between Haley Constance and it is between Nema Lang. It's going to be a little tough right now, I think. However, Nema out-qualifying Haley, which means he just has to finish better than 7th. And Haley has to somehow put 7 cars between her, and Nema Lang.
Weird things happen, or random mechanical failure happens as well.
I think that's kind of what is needed.
All right, Kyle Lang's got the pole out of Snohomish Phillips Law Firm, 1-800-JUSTICE. On Lang's sponsor list. 78 of Haley Constance out of Snohomish, sponsored by Joe's Racing Products. I know those guys. 70 of Dawson Cox out of Arlington, dry crawl sweepers on the sponsor list. And there is the 00, your points leader, Nema Lang out of Linwood, sponsored by J&R Trucking.
Donnie Wannett returns now back in his traditional 89 out of Orem Beach, Florida, and sponsored by Court Games. Chad Fitzpatrick pilots the 12 Seattle Lake Stevens, sponsored by Trademark RCS. Chase Gardner's out of Snohomish in the 32 in the Quality Towing Machine, starting next to Mike Marthaler in the 2 out of Everett. Direct carpet cleaning and house cleaning aboard Marthaler.
The final row is the 88 of Xander Peters. Welcome Xander to weekly racing here at Evergreen Speedway out of Spanaway, sponsored by Snap-on. Steve Potasic, second appearance for him on the night out of Kirkland, driving the Z-Clear, number 9. Green flag, and look at that. Nema Lang says third groove. Yes, please.
Yeah, Nema's wanting to,
third groove. No way.
Yeah, that was a lot of, Nema really sent it into turn 1 and 2, and it was working until it didn't, and he got up in the dirt. And unfortunately, Kyle Lang started to slide back. There's a car sparking a lot, and I think it is the 7D of Dawson Cox.
Well, might be a lot of fuel load in the 7D, but he's got the inside groove here on Haley Constance, and boy, shot out of a cannon off the low groove. Cox into the lead here 2 laps into this.
Yeah, Dawson is, I think with the 2025 what if is Dawson Cox. What if he doesn't have just incredible mechanical failures and just seem to run into problem after problem after problem? Because he's just had raw speed. He set the track record on the 3.8 oval this year, Caleb, and he's able to do things like this, just get up and go and get to the lead, but just not really in the picture, unfortunately, due to how his early season struggles caught him.
Haley Constance still running the alternative Central Welding wrap job on the 78 here, a couple weeks after the Central Welding 125, trying to hold off Lang, who, well, that opening foray up into the beautifully manicured green grass by Don Fairley doesn't seem to hurt him, at least right now.
Yeah, he seems to be doing okay. Nothing wrong after getting up in the dirt. Fitzpatrick running 4th. Donnie Wannett holding down 5th right now in the 89. And right now, this has been, I think, the traditional picture of the front 4. It has been some semblance of these two. So we're looking at Marthaler and Peters side by side. The 88 of Xander Peters trying to get around Mike Marthaler. That's the Barrett car he's driving tonight. And there, Xander makes the move and is around Marthaler and Kyle Lang in a Rookie of the Year points battle between the two of them. And Kyle starting up on the pole is going to give him the advantage early.
Well, we'll see how that will change. It's a 75 lapper, so lots can happen here. It is the final race here on the first year of the Pro Lay models, going back onto the slick tires. And racing's been good. It's definitely thrown a different variable into the equation for these drivers to try to figure out, but by and large, it's been met with success and happiness from most of the teams.
I would agree with that. And, playing the tire strategy a little bit has been part of this. Haley Constance had 2 fresh tires. They get to enter 2 tires every race day. So she had 2 coming in. Nema Lang had 2 in inventory that he'd still untouched. So he's on 4 fresh tires for this race. And just giving him a little bit more of that safety, I think, saved an extra set of lefts and rights for this final race.
And it's interesting. I was actually talking with Joe Constance, who is crew chief car owner spotter on the 78. Joe said, yeah, we used, basically the way it was going to come down is that you get X many tires through the season. You kind of get to choose when you check them in, when you don't, etc., so on. We used our extra 2, because everybody has about 2 more than they need. We used our extra 2 on the 125, figuring longer race, it would make more sense to have extra tires on that night, where some guys did not. Some only went 2 and went with 2 freshies for that one, giving them 2 extra for their new run here this week. More than just Nema. There was a couple others, and I don't remember who he said also had completely 4 corners of new rubber, but Nema was one of them, and there might have been 2 or 3 other teams as well that bolted on 4, including Dawson Cox.
Yeah, Dawson, you can see maybe letting the tires go to work here. And this tire, I think, has been fairly repeatable. Drivers have shared with us, and they've been able to get some success out of reusing the tire. And Haley Constance, one of the better drivers at conserving tires in the field. So, it all balances out in the end. But Dawson, look at the gap he's opened up. How many car lengths is that, Caleb?
A lot. Let's see. How many late models can you fit between Dawson and Haley? And we'll go with enough, because I don't math tonight. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing, as it's Cox, Constance, and Lang. 1/5 of the way through the race, 15 down, 60 to go.
We are on board with Chase Gardner looking at that rebuilt front end after it unfortunately got the front end of it smashed off the last time out in the end of the Central Welding 125, and that late race restart. Fumbling over my words just a slight bit, but Chase Gardner, happy to see back out here, was telling me he has some plans maybe to go hop over the mountains, go run one of the tracks over there to close his season out, and that small family run operation piloting the 32 just ever so slightly getting better and better and better every time they come out.
He's commuting in because he's living and working over in Spokane at the moment. The car still lives over here with his dad Mike, who a longtime WMRA midget driver, so actually makes a better commute for Chase if he ends up and picks up a race end of the season. He's got some options. A lot of these drivers will have their cars and get ready for the Fall Classic down in Tri-Cities coming up in just a little bit of time.
Kind of the big end of the year after the points championships have been decided at different tracks around the West Coast and here in the Northwest. Haley Constance having to do some defending from Nema Lang, but right now it doesn't seem like Nema's really pushing it all too hard, just maybe comfortable riding around right now. Still lots of laps to go, and obviously if you're Nema, you just don't push it too hard because you just have to sit right here to wrap up what would be his 10th Evergreen Speedway Track Championship.
A little bit before your time, but Nema, just the fact that he is in contention for his 10th track title. He had 8 going to a couple of years ago before he went to run the Fall Classic and ended up with a pretty gruesome leg injury that put the start of his next season in doubt. Since the time getting through that, getting past that injury down at the Tri-Cities, he has picked up 1 track title and now looking for number 2. Pretty incredible what he went through to get to that point in time, but glad that he did. as he is pushing Constance around. You see him darting just a half a groove wide coming off the corner. He's looking for second.
Yeah, he is looking for second, wants to make the move when he can. We were trying to figure it out ahead of time here, Caleb. I think he would be, recorded-wise, the first into double digits for track championships. We're pretty sure. Now, don't hold me to it super firm.
The longevity of the Damon Lang career has been pretty incredible. The high highs as well, and showing exactly why. Just a nice, solid third right now. Excellent racer. He's won a lot of races, but he knows when it comes down to points racing how to get that car to consistently be up in that top three. Even if the operation's not at his best, he still brings it to good finishes.
Oh, absolutely. I think on the 3/8 oval, outside of maybe the big races, you talk about Galloway on the 5/8, talk about Showdown. Outside of those, I think his worst finish has to be like third or fourth this year.
Yeah, pretty incredible for the driver of the 00. And Haley Constance has really pushed him this year, has made him work very, very hard, picking up a feature win, and again, doing it all in a brand new car. That Joe's late model is currently one of one. There's two more that should get built and hit the track here relatively soon. But right now, that is the one of one. There's nothing else to compare notes to on that car right now. It is all Haley and her feedback coming back.
Well, it has been a successful year, I think you could say, for the Joe's Chassis Company and building that 78. And even if it's second place in the points, the amount of picking up feature wins, picking up a big win in the Central Welding Supply 125, and just being able to bring that car home in one piece after this year. It had some damage. It suffered some damage this year during the Mark Galloway shootout, so see that car is able to bounce back after incident.
It was fun to watch the process of putting it back together, as that happened at the shop at my work, and the straight rail clip went together nice and easy. I can't say that I've talked to Haley in abundance about the difference in the way the car feels between before and now, but clearly the results show it's just as good, if not better, after getting wadded up so big at the Galloway. So Haley doing a pretty good job with it, doing a really good job holding off Damon Lang for the runner-up spot right now here in this A main event. Is we are beyond halfway? Nope, we're closing in on halfway, as about 6 more laps will be the midpoint of this race.
Yeah, these drivers are keeping Dawson Cox in an arm length right now. It is quite a few cars still there, and Chad Fitzpatrick just hanging it off the back of them in fourth, and so kind of a little bit of gaps. It's really these two on an island. See which way they'll go. Will they close to Dawson, or will they fade a little bit to Chad here? And it'll be 42 to go when we hit the line here, but this has just been the best battle on track. It's been your championship battle all season long, and right now it's going the way of the 00 hero.
Chad Fitzpatrick leaning at the, just kind of hanging out at the back of the picture, trying to bring the 00 a little bit closer. Got to give him a quick little hat tip as he headed over to Wenatchee and took their 125 lapper for big money here on one of our off weeks. So congratulations to Chad. Always nice to see our cohort here on Home Track Heroes picking up a nice check and a big trophy.
Yeah, congrats to Chad. Always happy to see any driver here at Evergreen Speedway find success, whether it's here or elsewhere.
One of the cool things here is we give our late models a little freedom to race other ways. That also gives them a week off if they choose not to and get the cars together. So let's take a second and thank Speedway Chevrolet, title sponsor here of the Pro Late Model Division. They, Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe, your one-stop transportation and RV center. From new vehicles to pre-owned cars and trucks, Speedway Chevrolet can locate nearly any make and model you're searching for. That is Speedway Chevrolet. Check out the beautiful Speedway Chevrolet pace car and wake Don Fairley up from his nap.
Oh no, not waking up Don from his nap. The last time we did that, we lost an intern.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he teleported them to a different dimension.
There's a story behind that I don't feel like I should make you tell on air.
No, again, he teleported to a different dimension.
Okay, that's weird.
Don's a wizard. And he also likes the Giants.
Go Giants. Coming off the corner, Constance and Lang still battling. We'll go in cockpit here with Fitzpatrick. Take a look how the 12 car is handling here tonight. Is Chad boy, real dark in that. It's one of the reasons that you'll see some guys. There is a school of thought that you put your interior into bright colors. That way, if you got to go to work on it on race night in, say, a pit area that doesn't have a ton of lights in it, it's easier to see the things down and in and around as you're working on your tin, your floor pan, etc. Chad choosing to ignore that advice and going all powder-coated black on his sheet metal.
He does have the nice bright orange frame, though, you can see in there.
Can you imagine losing a wrench down underneath your feet down there?
I think you'd be riding around the race with a wrench.
It'd be bad.
Could be very bad.
Little rattly. It's also part of the reason that when drivers are going through grandstands to pass the helmet for causes, that I tell people to throw change in there. That way, in case they can't get all the change out, they have a quarter watch that steps between the pad and the helmet. They'll have something rattling around in their head the whole time.
Oh,
drivers love that.
It'll be a nice change for once.
Oh, I see what you did there. Dawson Cox just continuing to cruise here on this one. He has been untouchable. Constance cut within a couple of car lengths a time or two, but Dawson just continuing to clip him off. We're over halfway. In fact, closing in on just about 30 to go. But before we get there, we got to take a commercial break. So, final segment of the year for Pro Late Models is coming up next. Do not change that channel. You're watching Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. We appreciate you guys tuning in all season long here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. You've kind of made us your Sunday home, and we appreciate getting to entertain you here on a Seattle Sunday night. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Ben Iman. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. We've only got 29 laps of late model racing left on the year, Ben, but in that time frame, Chad Fitzpatrick has inserted himself into this second and third place battle, and we still have not seen Naima Lang figure out how to get around Haley Constance.
Yeah, Chad is really starting to pick this up. Dawson Cox is loving this. Here, speak it into existence, Caleb. Here comes Naima to the inside of Haley. She's going to have to fight back now on the outside, but no, Naima Lang. Well, Caleb, any other things you'd like to shift, speak into existence, have it happen?
Well, let's look big picture here, because this points battle is not decided.
Correct.
Something happens to Naima now. It'll happen right in front of Haley, as opposed to right behind Haley. So, random mechanical failure goes down, and let's say the 00 gets sideways. The 78 now has to miss him to get by, because she still needs to finish a number of spots ahead of him, no matter where Naima is finishing. So I think that actually just threw an interesting double wrinkle into the equation.
It will be. So now you have to be a little bit more mindful of your Haley. And I love the shot of off the rear bumper of Haley. We're watching how close Chad is closing in on the back of the 78, the 12C, making a big run here. And I just love, you can see how unstable these cars are, and they're slapping the ground with the body as they roll through the very uneven racetrack. And now Naima Lang has opened up a multi-car gap to Haley Constance. So maybe Naima, all he needed was some fresh air and a step around, and he had a lot more under that hood than he was making us think.
It might also be the effect of the 2 extra new tires that he had
also
coming
very
into
true.
tonight. Very possible. All right, so I'm going to point something out here on the rear bumper cam of Haley Constance, and this is a huge thing to the late model teams that you see up here. Watch as Fitzpatrick comes into the corner, and watch how down to the ground he is. The teams actually work on this, and what they're trying to do is get that nose as down into the racetrack as they possibly can get. They're trying to seal the nose, because air that gets under the nose and into the car loosens it up. The more of a seal you make, the more downforce you have, the more stability in the corner that you're making. So they'll spend a lot of time, and this will be valuable video for the Fitzpatrick team, of watching how low that car is coming into the corner. It looks like it's sealing pretty good for me, but I'm not the expert here on this one. They're going to know better. So Chad, Sean, Dave, the rest of the guys are going to look at that and go, oh, okay, left-hand side's down, that thing's nearly on the ground, there's no air escaping under there, right side might be flying up in the air a little bit high, and now they'll be able to make setup adjustments based on what they just saw as far as that seal goes here on the racetrack.
Picking up a little bit more every time these cars come out, and you can see right now cars fighting each other, moving their way forward, and Fitzpatrick will hopefully enjoy the on-car or the onboard there. Thank you, Brandy, for all the onboard video, Brandy Hood Promotions. And Naima Lang charging through the field, starting to get back to Dawson Cox. Mike Marthal is going to go a lap down. Here comes the 78. She's really started to pick it up, and maybe she was just sitting a little bit longer, maybe needed to hit her, we talked about the fresh tires for Nema Lang, but the tire conservation game for Haley Constance, maybe she was just waiting for that specific number, got told, okay, 18 to go, now it is time. Get on the gas, go, go, go.
That wouldn't be a play that's outside the playbook of the 78. That is definitely something that they think about. The timing of, okay, make your run, something that they strategize and do work through.
So Haley's going to have a late race charge. Fortunately for Chad, just says, whatever he had, he closed up, and away it went, either for him something in that race car, or it's just that maybe the 78 and the 00 just had a little bit more. Xander Peters running right now in front of Dawson Cox, fighting to stay on the lead lap, but while he's doing that, Nema Lang has closed this to about a car and a half length to Dawson.
While Nema is trying to close in, we tell you that All Ply Roofing serves the greater Puget Sound region. From Bellingham to Tacoma, North Bend to Bremerton, All Ply has you covered. Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate, or you can visit them. allplyroofing.com is the web address. Your residential and commercial roofing team, that is All Ply Roofing.
Well, it is less than a car length now. Nema Lang is here, Caleb. He is to the back of Dawson Cox, and Dawson, if he was able to save some tire, it's time to go, and still bottoming out right there. So as the fuel load is lightened, it's a little bit more than just that, but here comes Nema making a late race charge for Dawson. Does Dawson have the power? Does he have the tire to defend from who, as things stand, soon to be our new champion again?
Right, trying to cap championship number 10. Nema Lang pulling the full Walter White here, saying, I'm the one who knocks, as he comes into corner number 3 to within a half car length of the 70 of Dawson Cox, looking for his first late model win here of 2025.
You don't roll out the 78. She has closed this gap up, and Haley's starting to run to Nema, but right now this is a battle between Cox and Lang. Nema's trying to see if he can get to the back of the 70. The dry crawl sweepers machine of Dawson Cox has led almost every lap of this race. I want to say just about one or two, if not more.
He took the lead over on the second lap, and he really went till about 15 to go before having anybody close enough in his rear view that he needed to put the worry on. It'll be Lang chasing Cox. Lang knows also if he wants this title, that is the 78 behind him. And I don't know that we can really say anybody's dropped off of this thing. We've seen most of the field still running, so he can't make the big mistake here. He can't do anything that's going to jeopardize his race. It's a tricky spot for Lang.
Yeah, no, this is the... but if anyone is going to have an answer to this question, it will be Nema, and he will be the one who can navigate all this. But here comes Haley. It is a late charge. She is starting to get into the same picture frame there. We're still on board with Nema, and look how close he's trying to close up to Dawson. Dawson really starting to try to pick it up with this late race, oh gosh, scramble as the cars from behind him make sure he didn't get caught napping.
I want 25 more laps of this is what I want, but we're coming down to the nitty-gritty. 68 down and 7 to go. Sorry, make it 69 down and 6 to go. Cox, Lang, Constance, not quite close enough to throw a blanket over them, but they are really tight.
Yeah, all over the back. This is such a good battle to end our season here at Super Speedway West. Lang to the outside. Here he goes, trying to put the bid and gets the nose to the quarter panel, trying to drag race Dawson down the back straightaway. Now, he's going to have to go up the track a little bit, over the little bit of a hump. That's going to disrupt the run, and Nema's going to drop back to second. Couldn't quite make it stick, but he keeps it out there, Caleb, and is really trying to dig on the high right. Dawson slams the door.
Not just slams the door, makes that door really, really wide. If you notice, Cox coming way further up on the straightaway than he was when he was out, didn't have Nema right on his bumper. Nema saw that 2 times around ago, sees how wide Dawson's getting in the corner, and I wonder if he's going to look to try to duck underneath him coming out of the corner. He's going to have to set it up right, but if anybody can do it, it's Nema Lang with Constance right there.
Yeah, Dawson is swinging line to line. Look, touches the bottom white line there, and as he comes up, he's getting all the way above the white line on the outside. Can Nema set up this crossover? Here comes Haley. She might not let him. She might get the nose in. 1, 2, go. White flag. Dawson, Nema, Haley, duking it out. 1, 2, 3. No idea how this is going to finish. Door opens for the 78 to get underneath the 00.
Lang can't quite get all the way under. This one's going to be Cox to the checkered flag. Cox takes the win. Second at the line. Nema Lang. No, Constance as it updates at the very end.
Wow.
But Haley might have taken second, but Nema just won the war as he will take the title.
Wow, what a finish, Caleb. An aggressive Dawson giving us some smoke out of turn 4, and now going to peel it in. Are we going to get a late model burnout out of Dawson? Yes, you know it. I don't even need to ask the question.
The racers in the audience saw the change in Dawson Cox as Nema Lang started poking to the outside, and boy, did Dawson start taking up a lot of racetrack to defend that top spot. To his credit, Nema never had him covered. He never had to give up the line that he was running, but it certainly made those last 5 laps a lot more intriguing as Cox gets the win, Constance and Lang 2 and 3. Let's go down. We're going to have some thoughts from your winners and your champion here in the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
All right, Haley, second place night, meaning I think every one of these races you were at least up or near this podium at some point. Strong run for your team. You came on late there and made the pass by 2 1,000ths at the line. Talk about getting to finish second place and up on the podium at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm super grateful to be up on the podium again this year. Super proud of Dawson. I know their team works super hard, so it's cool to see a fellow competitor and friend get the number 1 spot tonight. I had a lot of fun, clean racing, which I always enjoy, so no, we didn't get the championship, but I'm super glad to be racing with awesome people, and yeah, I can't thank my crew enough for giving me an awesome car and everybody who comes out and supports me.
And who helped you get that car out here?
Joe's Chassis, brand new chassis this year. It's been super fast. On the podium almost every weekend here at Evergreen Speedway. Mazda of Everett, Matt Pioli, Ginger, Central Welding Supply, Mike Buell, I know he's out here tonight, my papa, my family, my mom, my sister for coming out, DeYoung Inc. There's a bunch of people out here that support me, but that's all I can remember off the top of my head right now.
All right, second place tonight. Strong run for the driver of the 78, Haley Constance. Well, Dawson, it has been a semi-up and down year, but a win at the end of the season's got to feel pretty good for how can give you guys some confidence to roll this thing into next year.
Yeah, huge to get it for all my guys. I mean, couldn't have done it without them. The car was really good tonight. No name was better than us at the end, so huge thanks to him for giving me a break there, because I'm sure he could have pushed it harder than he did, but I really appreciate that. I had a bunch of fun tonight. The car was on rails till like lap 60, and sadly it was a 75 race, but we kept in the front, so that's awesome. I just I'm really at a loss for words. It's awesome.
You led 74 of the 75 laps tonight. You got the jump on lap 2 and didn't look back. Who helps you get that car out here?
Brandon Lindbergh helped me a bunch last night. Eugene and Lauren helped me a bunch today. My dad, John Bender, my spotter, my sponsors, Dry Crawls. I mean, couldn't do any of this without any of those guys, and they're awesome, and I really appreciate everything.
All right, Dawson Cox ends the year on the top step of the podium. You're a race winner in the 7D. Well, Nema, you came in leading into the night, and with that, coming home third tonight, you had enough to do it. A record-setting 10th Evergreen Speedway Championship. Talk about, at this point, what does this mean to, after last season, you were battling with Wyatt most of the year, you were able to come home, and this year, claim it again?
Yeah, it's good to, I had a couple bad years there, and I just wanted to win this championship for the guys. You know, we only won a couple races. I think I could have forced my way up to the front tonight, but Dawson had a good car, and me and Haley came down to the end, but it was a good night overall. Good all day. The car was pretty fast.
Yeah, you guys seem to be fast all night and fast all season. Talk about what does it mean for your guys' team, and what are the work you guys put in to be able to bring this home?
It's like a booster for these guys. I mean, we put a lot of hours in this thing to get this thing ready, so we can just, come out here and try to win a race, but doing another championship means a lot. It means I wanted to win it more for my guys than myself, but it was a good year.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get the car out?
Yeah, JNR Truck Rentals, Lang Auto Sports, MJ's Auto Transport, and DeYoungInc.com.
Well, Nema Lang, you have 10 Evergreen Speedway Championships to your name. Let's make some noise for your 2025 late model title winner. Nema Lang, your 2025 champion.
Well, Naima Lang with the celebration. Congratulations to him on track title number 10, and congratulations, Dawson Cox, on the win. Well, Mr. Prince of Punctuality, Ben Iman, this has been fun, but we've got more champions to crown on next week's Home Track Heroes.
That's right. Outlaws figure eights, Super Stock figure eights, Mini Stocks, and the Pro 4 trucks all settling here at the Super Speedway of the West.
It will be a great cap to next Sunday night, because next Saturday is the last time you can come to Evergreen Speedway on the year before we blow the roof off the place. It is going to be the Big Ed Ritchie 60 minutes of fear. That's right, 60 minutes of Outlaw figure eights, 60 minutes of Super Stock figure eights, 30 minutes of Stingers. We're going to run some Hornet Nationals, some buses, and fireworks as well. Going to be a great time. We hope you come out Saturday, October the 4th. For Ben Iman, I am Caleb Hart, DT on TV, doing some interviewing for the Hobbses on production. Thank you so much, guys, and our awesome Seattle 11 crew. This is Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.